Did you get it figured out?
How you doing? It's time to breathe again on the Breath of Fresh Air Webcast. It's great to be back after we took a week off from there, and it was all me just having to get some things together. But glad to be back with you. As you can see, you got me, you got Patrick there, and well, Patrick, since we weren't here for a couple of weeks, let's catch up on some of these topics, or well, last week. So let's catch up, and let's start with instant replay. So this is
Hey, before we get started, I'm gonna throw us for a loop because we didn't get to do it yet.
Whoa! What loop?
Me and you did not get to do this yet. I just want to congratulate Baylor. That's all I want to do.
You said
congratulations to Baylor, first NCAA championship. Beat a heck of a Gonzaga team, but congratulations to them.
You know, I was actually going to put that in to the show, Patrick, because I know we didn't get to it. So, but it's all right. It's all right. I guess great minds think alike. Definitely, yes. Congrats to Baylor. They actually did their parade today in Waco. Did it definitely one of those things that's appropriate to get to them as they were able to celebrate it. Yeah, Baylor, that defense, very, very nasty. And they actually
look very, very nasty, apparently.
Well, their offense, you know, it's all right. So me being here in Texas, you know, I got to see Baylor a good amount. They were the top 3-point shooting team this year. So they could fill it up.
And they didn't miss often.
No, they didn't. Especially my man Butler. That dude Butler was a beast. Davion Mitchell is going to be a beast at a pro too, man. I really like how he plays.
He's scrappy. He's scrappy, dude.
Yes.
GA representing though.
You said so. Yes, that nice little loop there, Patrick. Congrats to Baylor. We're going to talk about some instant replay stuff here. And this is actually going toward baseball because there was a Sunday night baseball game between the Philadelphia Phillies and the Atlanta Braves. So to kind of bring into context what happened here, game was tied at 6, top of the 9th inning. And I guess there was maybe it was a sacrifice fly. I'm not quite remembering right now.
Right. Sacrifice fly.
Okay, so the player's name was Alec Baum. Alec Baum slid into home plate and basically did not touch home plate. But the umpire called him safe. They went to New York to the replay. They still didn't overturn the call. So Phillies went on to win 7-6. Everybody, of course, is all upset. Replay sucks, replay sucks, replay sucks, blah, 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 blah. Look, first off, Patrick, before we get started, hey, the Braves, they had a lead in the game. They should have put them away. They should have swept the Phillies and should have returned the favor for when the Phillies got them. They swept the Braves to begin the season up in Philly. Should have been returned the favor, but the Braves couldn't hold the lead. Yes, they missed the call. Granted, all day, whatever, fine. But now people, of course, you see all the stories. Everybody's crying, doing the lazy, easy thing. Let's bash instant replay. Let's bash instant replay. I just want to say this, and I will get out the way. Everybody talks about how bad instant replays when they miss that 1 or 2 calls. Never talk about the millions of calls, really, that they get right, to be honest. I mean, instant replay gets it right 9 times out of 10. But this is something that I think is forgotten by a lot of people, especially the ones who want to go and bash instant replay. Last time I checked, instant replay is ran by who, Patrick? Human beings, right? So since human beings, right? So since human beings are the ones running instant replay, there's probably going to be some things missed because we're so quick to say, hey, we're not perfect. Humans aren't perfect. We make mistakes. We miss things. But the minute somebody makes a mistake, we want to crush them for it. makes absolutely positively no sense to me why anybody who wants to get on any type of website, blog site, webcast, TV cast, radio, magazine, newspaper, wherever, makes no sense to me why they want to get on here and start crushing instant replay. I'm not saying instant replay is perfect. It is nothing is a perfect system, but look, if we understand that it is actually ran by human beings as well, I think we would be okay. I'm just saying, and that's all I wanted to say, Patrick, without getting on any rants. I'm through. I'm done.
So it's my turn.
Yes.
All right. 2 years ago when this started, what was the first thing I said?
You didn't like it. I mean, you should. You
wanted, like it.
Yeah.
I hate instant replay because the reason why is even though we have instant replay, we are going to have what? The same issue. What I said.
Mm-hmm.
Here we are, 2 years later, and you're saying exactly the same thing that you said 2 years ago. It's going to be ran by humans, so what's the point? Here we are, 2 years later, and they're crushing instant replay. Well, blah, 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 blah. You know, it's look like this. I'll put a point blank. Yes, they missed the call.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate they missed the call. But let's put this in perspective. Whether or not Atlanta had the lead or not, fact of the matter is that nobody scored in the bottom of the 10th. So, I mean, who's to know? They might still be playing right now. Who knows? I don't know. Philly could have won that game either way. You don't know. The thing is that everybody's quick to crush instant replay, but they loved it when it came out. The same people that's crushing it right now is the same people saying there's a flaw. They shouldn't be doing this. Blah 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 blah. Okay. All right. Well, you got what you wanted, and you still whining. I don't understand.
Oh, Patrick, before you go on, what you just said, that's going to be a little bit of theme as we get into this show and more of these topics. But go ahead.
And you know, when I saw the topics, when I went over them again, I kind of had a feeling. You know, the reason why I wanted to get the Baylor thing out of the way before I went into this. But the thing is like this, man. Look, Atlanta had the lead; they couldn't close it out. If you haven't noticed, this is the typical trend for Atlanta in all sports: football, basketball, baseball. Was hockey, and then they lost the hockey team, so obviously they couldn't finish there either. So we got rid of them. Now we got a soccer team, and that stuff's still doing the same crap. So no, look, it's like this. You can crush whatever you want to. You can come up with any excuse that you want to, but the problem is that Atlanta can't close, and this is every Atlanta sports organization that Georgia has. They can't close.
You might have to check that, Patrick. I think Atlanta FC did actually win the MLS Cup one year.
Well, the Braves won the World Series 1 year too, but it's still.
I'm talking about recently, not back in the 90s.
But what I'm saying is the sun shines on the dog's ass every once in a while.
Hey, look, at least they finished at some point.
Okay, right. Hey, 2 times out of 5,000. Hey, you are absolutely right. They did finish 2 times, but chances are, in a regular, normal season, a normal instance, they will not. So if you're willing to bet that they will finish, and you might cash out for $1 million. Bet if they don't finish, that's what everybody's betting on. Come on. But to blame it on one thing or the other, look, the fact of the matter is Braves couldn't close. It doesn't matter what the replay says or not. Yeah, it was missed. I saw that. I looked at it and was like, wow, blown call. Somebody should lose their job. But the fact of the matter is, like you said, it's ran by humans. And there is a fact, there is a sense of human error in no matter what a human does, period. So getting mad at instant replay doesn't change that they're going to use it or not. The fact is you got to get used to it. And Braves shouldn't have put themselves in a position where they had to rely on instant replay to win the game. They were winning. They shouldn't have lost. They were up at 1.62. Come on. No. So no, I'm not buying it. You know, like I said, Braves had the lead. They couldn't close out. Don't blame it on instant replay. You blame it on people that couldn't make plays. Braves ended up having 3 errors in that game. I'm just saying. Come on.
Yeah, and one more thing about that. So with another thing, I guess with this replay, I guess the terminology that was used when they were going back to review, I guess it was the too tough to tell thing, and everybody's like, "What? Too tough to tell?" Well, that's
no, it's point blank. It was so obvious. It was pathetic.
Yeah, no, and I agree, but the terminology, it seemed like people got lost in that terminology, and I'm thinking in my head, this is no different from someone saying there's not enough evidence to overturn it. Now, on the surface, you and I guess everybody else, we know that was a missed call. Great. But let's not act like the words and stuff are something new. Too tough to tell just means they didn't feel like they had enough evidence to overturn. That's how they feel, and that's how they saw it. I just think I almost feel like a lot of the media is just really just making stuff up as they go to get content out there. It's really not that difficult. And again, same thing. Ran by human beings. There's going to be mistakes made. Yes, you have the technology that is out there to help get things right, but just for the simple fact that even the people up there in New York City who gets boned in, for the replays, it's humans that are looking at it. So if we can tell ourselves that and remember that when it comes to some of these calls, then maybe, just maybe, we wouldn't be crying as much as, well, okay, we're not crying, but all the other people wouldn't be crying as much as they are. But it's crazy how some of those things just get forgotten when a situation like this happens. So it makes season. Yeah, man, it's only April, exactly. So.
Long season. They'll get it right a couple of times. Believe me, it'll be okay. 162 games, we're like 10 in. Come on, it'll be fine. Calm down. Slow your roll. Calm down. It'll be okay. And we can move on.
Chill out. Chill.
It's okay. Pick your battle. Fight the ones you can fight. Don't worry about the rest. It'll be okay.
Well, all right, Patrick. So let's get to this next topic. And this is about Dallas Mavericks owner Mark Cuban making some comments about the NBA's play-in system. Now, the system basically says this: if you're in your top 6 in the conference, you're good and you're ready to begin the first round. Ranked 7 through 10 play each other to see who gets the other 2 spots to go into the first round. Now, Mark Cuban's comments was one of basically he said he feels like this play-in system is an enormous mistake, and I guess a lot of it is based off of how the season got condensed after the pause from last year's COVID outbreak. The last game was October 11th. They started the season 3 days before Christmas, which means it was in motion in 2 months. They condensed the season to 72 games, and they're still keeping this play-in system in the NBA. So Mark Cuban said his yeah, right. But and we know why, right, Patrick? It's all money.
They're incentive.
Yeah, and so but at the time it was a good idea, because it was more money being brought in. But now, all of a sudden...
they were also fifth at that time, too.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess... So now, here we go with Mark Cuban saying these comments, and this is coming off of Luka Doncic's comments about it, basically saying the same thing. And yeah, for context, Dallas is sitting in 7th place. So, which means they would be in your play-in series. I just feel the conveniency of it all is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I feel like this is a ridiculous statement from Mark Cuban. And you know me, I like Mark Cuban. I think he's a good owner. I think he is, he has a visionary mind with a lot of the stuff. But times like this have more conveniency. Another convenience argument here from him and Luka, honestly.
I got this to say about it, and it's really simple. Like you said, it's about convenience. They were ranked 5th when the first started coming out. Everything was a great idea, right? Now he's ranked 7th. Now he has to play the play-in game. Well, that's an extra series. I don't want to play that. My guys are going to be tired going into the first round now. Oh, come on. No, you can't be mad when you're in 5th, or you can't be happy when you're in 5th and then be mad when you're in 7th. You can't be voting it in when you're in 5th place and voting it out when you're in 7th. Doesn't work. So here we are. Stop whining. It is what it is. Move on.
And here's the thing, though, Patrick. There's still a month left in the season. So, chances are they might not even be there. Look, play and win games. How about that?
Play and win games where you fall. And if you fall in 6, hey, gravy. If you don't, play your play-in game and get over it.
Yeah. I don't get it. It's just why is everybody crying about everything?
Because they can. It's because they can. I don't know why they're crying either, but it's because they can. It's almost enough to make you sick. But you know what? Let them cry. Let them cry. It just means I look that much stronger. Bam.
With those 24-inch pythons.
Oh, 24? Try to look like 12. Pythons. You trying to tell me I'm a meathead? Come on now.
No. I would have just been saying that you were strong.
These are 12.
Yeah, I'll take it.
12.
Yes.
I'll take it because it ain't fat. It's just muscle.
There it is. Yes. Cut. Look, you just have that Bruce Lee muscle, just that tight muscle where you got muscle on top of muscle
around the whole thing. Yeah.
Well, you got muscle on top of muscle. Just sit here. Man.
No, I got an M on top of muscle. That's it.
Okay. All right.
We won't even spell the usle out. It's just M.
It's a layer.
It is a layer, and that's all that matters.
Well, all right. Well, Patrick, since we have concluded Mark Cuban and Luka Doncic are a bunch of crybabies right now, let's go to the draft. And Patrick, I wanted to talk and get your thoughts on this. I feel like these quarterbacks that are coming out for the NFL draft, and it's not just this year. It's been going on for a lot of years before this. But my goodness, they are horribly overrated. Horribly.
Oh, yeah.
Sickening overrated. But because they played a position of quarterback, they're going to get drafted high. And it is to the point, Patrick, to where all these people, same people we were talking about with these first couple of stories, it is to the point where they're thinking now, if you're in the top 5, if you draft anything else other than a quarterback, you're dumb. You're dumb. There's no reason why you shouldn't take a quarterback if you're in the top 5. It is getting to that point. I can't tell you how dumb and how horrible of thinking that is.
Oh, dude, then they would have a field day on me because I'd be like, oh, duh, Devontae Smith, give him. Oh, he's an idiot. Right. Devontae Smith, write it. Give me. Take him all day long, man. I'm telling you, I would.
And look, so here's the thing. I was talking to Bear about this earlier, and I used Trevor Lawrence as an example. Now, it's widely believed Trevor Lawrence is going to go number 1 to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Probably will. But in terms of who I feel is the best available player, I mean, there's at least 4 or 5 guys that I'm thinking is better than Trevor Lawrence just right off the top of my head. And I mean, Devontae Smith, like you said, that's my number one to me. I feel like Devontae Smith is the best player in the draft. And all this stuff that they keep on saying, oh, he's not tall enough. I don't know. But, like, okay, well, I know this. I know he can get open. And I also know all these corners that are supposed to be top prospects. He torched them all. I'm just saying.
Every one of them running a 4.21.
Eric Stokes. Eric Stokes, that corner out of Ohio State, that was supposed to be so great. Devontae Smith ate his lunch. The other corner from LSU, Derek Stingley, he ate his lunch. He had a highlight catch on him that they kept on playing at his like Heisman Trophy tape.
He had over 190 passing yards that game.
Right in the first quarter. In the first quarter, yeah, like,
oh my God! You're and they're seriously saying, dude, it's like this, point blank. They'll say, "Oh, he's too small." Oh, blah 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 blah. Okay, look, when you put up 200 receiving yards with 3 touchdowns in a championship game against a team that actually was supposed to whip the crap out of you, but yet Devontae Smith was open, like you said. He torched the defense, and not just one corner, not just 2 corners. He torched that entire defense, the entire first. He had a career highlight game in the first half.
Yeah.
And they're telling me Trevor Lawrence is a better player? Give me a break. Give me a freaking break. No.
I remember that one play, Patrick, where they tried to put Ohio State, they tried to put the middle linebacker to try to run with Devontae Smith. I know you remember that play. Middle linebacker looked like he was running as fast as possible. Devontae Smith is jogging and he's just out running.
As soon as I saw the lineup and I saw Devontae Smith run this way and I saw the linebacker go, I was like, oh, done. Touchdown. I was like, touchdown. I was like, Alabama up 14-0. Hey, Jordan.
But I mean, but Trevor Lawrence, just kind of talking about that quarterback draft class, because you have Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, which I'm still not understanding how he's getting all his hype. Is ridiculous to me. Justin Fields, Trey Lance. Trey Lance. That's another one. This dude barely played football for 2 years because he plays for North Dakota State. North Dakota State, they had the pause, of course, just like everybody else. The FCS, I guess that's what they're called now. Yeah, the FCS. Started playing their season late. They're still playing, I think, actually. Ooh, excuse me. But Trey Lance sat out the season. So this man really hasn't played. I think he's played 1 game since the 2019 season ended. So we don't know what we're getting out of him. And then you got Mac Jones. And a lot of people are saying the 49ers, my team, might take him. Me personally, I don't think so. But if we do, fine, cool. I just feel like Mac Jones is pretty much like Jimmy Garoppolo, honestly.
That is to my personal opinion, Mac Jones is the best quarterback in the draft. And I'm not saying that because I'm not saying that because of him being in the SEC. I'm not saying that because of him being in Alabama. What I'm saying is the man did better in that season than any of the other quarterbacks did. And when he did face adversity, which was very little in being in Alabama, when he did face it, he overcame it. Now, with that being said, I know he's playing in Alabama, huge plug-and-play system, never was really tested. So, honestly, we don't know if he's going to be that good in the NFL. Let's be honest. Justin Fields, same thing. Trevor Lawrence, same thing. Wilson, same thing. The problem is that these quarterbacks are showing that they're really good in a system that is built for them to do absolutely nothing. But You put one of them in Detroit. Let's see how well they really are. Let's see if they can do Matthew Stafford caliber numbers when he is constantly under duress, when he is constantly getting knocked down, when he is constantly being hit from the blind side, when he is constantly throwing off of his back foot, when he is constantly having to scramble for his life. How good are they really? Because when Matthew Stafford played in Detroit, I didn't think he was, and you heard me say this, I didn't think he was a good enough quarterback in college. And it's coming from my team. I was like, he's not good. I don't know why he's even going pro. But then you see him in the pro, and I'm like, whoa.
now I know
you said it. You were like, no, Patrick, he's gonna be fine. I'm like,
yeah.
But
I've always liked Matthew Stafford though, man. Like
great guy. From what I see, he seems like he seems to be a great guy
and a player.
But I never in my wildest dreams thought he was going to be that good. I mean, when you're matching what people in the Super Bowl are putting up numbers with a team that's like that, with a team that's not going to put a line around you, with a team that's not going to give you but maybe a wide receiver or a running back. He's putting up $3,000, $3,500. He's putting up 3,000, 3,500 passing yards as well as throwing 30 touchdowns. No,
I think Matthew Stafford makes $3,500 per throw. But
probably or not more. He makes $3,500 per throw, and if he can put all 5 fingers on it, he gets an extra meal as an incentive. With that crazy contract he got in LA, they're like, if you touch the ball one time in a game, I'll give you $17 million. Okay. Sorry. Okay.
No, and look, you talk about Mac Jones being in the plug and play system. About that, another thing that I was talking to Bear about, because you know him, he's the Alabama advocate. He's very biased, and he'll admit it as much. So I give him credit for admitting that. But let's go back to when Nick Saban took over. So what I'm looking at here, Patrick, is your 6 quarterbacks, or the quarterbacks that were on Alabama's 6 national championship teams. So your first one is Greg McElroy. Yep. He's an analyst now. Your second and third one was AJ McCarron. I don't know where he's at.
I don't think he plays football anymore.
Okay. And then Jacob Coker, dude.
Oh, God, I forgot about him. I completely forgot about him.
Jacob Coker. So he was your winner in 2015, which was also the year Derrick Henry won the Heisman. So that was your quarterback for 2015, Jacob Coker.
And when you recall, when Derrick Henry went in, what did we say? Who's number 1? Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
We were not taking a quarterback then either, and I'm not taking a quarterback now.
No, I don't think there's any need to, especially if the rest of your team is hot garbage. But now look, if you're a team like the 49ers are, where you have a lot of the players that you had when you went to the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, I can understand you saying you may need a quarterback because you do have all the rest of the pieces in place. Only then, though. Only then. If you're a team that needs some other stuff, I mean, you better get those other people. Because if you draft the quarterback with the stuff that you have there, results are probably going to be the same, if not worse. So it's just, I don't know. I just don't get the way of thinking from a lot of people. But the other quarterbacks. So I'm going to give this one. So the one they won in 2017. That I guess we can call that a combo deal. Of course, Jalen Hurts got him there. We know Tua came in. Tua Tagovailoa came in and made some throws. Jury is still out on those two as to how good a pros they can be. I'm a big believer in Jalen Hurts. I think he can be a good pro. I'm not so sure about Tua.
I'm not sure.
But we'll see. And then you got Mac Jones. So Alabama quarterbacks, and I get it because everybody wants to say, well, the coaching there was great. Yeah, it was great there in Alabama. But like you said, it's Alabama, kind of a plug-and-play system, and they're getting the best players. They just are. I mean, from what Nick Saban is built up there since he's been there, get the best players. So it makes it a little bit easier to go ahead and plug and play a quarterback because you're able to put these other players in different positions and get the best out of them. In the NFL, though, even your garbage teams have some good talent on them. And the talent pool is a little bit more, I guess, evenly distributed. So if you're not bringing a little bit of a difference, well, meaning can you create plays outside of the pocket and when you have defensive linemen who runs 4.6, 4.7 40s chasing you? And this is why I think the 49ers will take Justin Fields with the third pick. Mac Jones, if they do get him, fine. I'm not mad at that pick. I just feel like Mac Jones is a lot like what they have right now in Jimmy Garoppolo. And I don't think they're moving up there to get the same thing they already have. Justin Fields can create a little bit more with his legs, of course. And stronger arm, I think that's debatable. I mean, Justin Fields can throw down the field, but Mac Jones is a pretty good deep ball thrower himself. So,
and my personal opinion, I think Mac Jones is a lot more accurate downfield. Closer, 30, 25, 30 yards. I think Justin Fields can create a lot more than Mac Jones. Mac Jones is he's a pocket passer and not really much after that. I think Justin Fields will extend your play a lot more, get the ball downfield. But I can tell you this, personal opinion, if pressure is on, Justin Fields is going to be your better quarterback. If you can put protection on Mac Jones, I don't think Justin Fields can touch him. But you have to have protection, and you're going to spend some money on a line.
In either way, yes.
Yeah. So if you're not willing to spend the money on the line, and you really want a quarterback, Justin Fields is one you want to go with. You want to spend some money on a line, and personal opinion, better shot for a Super Bowl, Mac Jones is who I would go with. But regardless of the situation, Devontae Smith, there's my pick, and I am not going against that.
I mean, he's the best player in the draft, and so like I told Bear, I said, look, I think Devontae Smith is number one. I think the tight end out of Florida, Kyle Pitts, is up there too. I mean, you got a dude who can play wide receiver. He's a wide receiver in the tight end's body, and so he can play multiple positions in there.
He is so Tony Gonzalez-esque, man. It is crazy. Like I would either take him 2 or 3, and I would have to look at the draft. I haven't looked at the draft in a while, but I can tell you, Devontae Smith is my number 1, and I would have to look to see where I'd put 2 and 3, 4 and 5. But I normally only go top 5 and see where it is. But I can tell you right now, I don't really see a quarterback in my top 5.
See, exactly, and seeing that, and that's what I was telling Bear. And I mean, I'm not the quarterbacks to me. Yes, we know they're going to get picked high because they play the position of quarterback, and everybody is obsessed because that's what it is. They're obsessed with quarterbacks. But like I said, Devontae Smith, Kyle Pitts, I think the offensive lineman out of Oregon, Sewell, I want to say it's Penei Sewell. I know his last name is Sewell, but I think I would put him up there. I think the corner out of Alabama, Patrick Surtain, I think he's better. So I don't know. I just look, the quarterbacks to me, because we can't just think they're going to be great just because they play quarterback. That's what is happening here. People are just putting them up there and they're saying, oh, well, they're playing quarterback. They're going to be good pros. Well, you have to play the quarterback position well before you can just sit there and just say that somebody's just going to be up there just doing just great. And
you didn't even mention Waddle.
Yeah, Waddle. Yeah, and look, and Waddle, because you remember he had the leg injury. Mm-hmm. But if he's coming back healthy from that, yeah, he's great too.
Let me pull something up. Hold on, because there's a couple of players that I was looking at that I remember that I would take over any quarterback. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see here. So my top 5 would probably be in this order, and I just got this list on who's the best available kind of thing.
Yeah.
My number 1 would be Devontae Smith, without a doubt. Number 2 was Kyle Pitts. Number 3 would probably be Jamar Chase from LSU.
Yeah, Jamar Chase is up there. I was going to mention him as well.
And then Panini Sewell would be my 4. And then I would debate on if I was going to take Micah Parsons or
Parsons from Penn State, right?
Yeah, Penn State. I would either debate him as my 5th or Jalen Waddle, depending on who would be available at that point. But if I had my choice, that would be my top 5. And
where you have Surtain?
He would definitely be in my top 10, but he's not in my top 5. And also, and it also depends on what my needs would be. So, if my needs is for what position does he play?
Corner. For Bama.
Corner. So if I need a corner, then I would probably draft him. So let's say this. Let's just put it this way. If I need a wide receiver, I'm going Devontae Smith. If I need a quarterback, I'm going Devontae Smith. If I need a corner, I'll go with Surtain. If I need who else? If I need a wide receiver, if I need another wide receiver, I'll probably either go Jamar Chase or Waddle. And if I need a tight end, I'm going Kyle Pitts. There's nothing in there that really says I am going to go for a quarterback, and I don't see the necessity for it because honestly, those guys aren't proven. I haven't seen anything from them that sets them apart from anybody. Now, you could say, well, 3 of those people you mentioned come from Alabama. Yeah, absolutely, and all 3 of those fought against better corners, better linemen, and they earned those spots. Mac Jones, on the other hand, he's a quarterback. All he did was throw the ball to freaking Devontae Smith 5,000 times and got 4,999 touchdowns. So that's all I'm saying.
And don't forget, he handed the ball off to Najee Harris.
And he handed the ball off to Najee Harris. And I forgot about Najee Harris. I think he's staying, though, isn't he? He's an Alabama.
No, he's going pro, too.
He's going pro, too? So
because it's between – as far as the best running back available, is between him and the dude out of Clemson, Travis Etienne.
Dude. Woo! So to me, that is a heck of a freaking draft if you got Etienne and Harris coming out. Mm-hmm. Whoever gets them, man. Mm.
And so, all right. And so, Patrick, one more thing. So I was thinking about your squad, the Falcons, who were sitting at number 4. And I know we touched on it a little bit. Maybe it was the last webcast we did. But after thinking about this is what I would do. And I want your thoughts about this. Mm-hmm. Either if you keep the number 4 pick, I'm not taking a quarterback with that. And look, we have both railed on Matt Ryan. All right, so we're not the biggest fans of Matt Ryan, and yes, it is probably time for him to go. But I'm going to say not right now. The reason why I say you give him like another year or 2. If you stay number 4, to me, I'm getting a defensive player. I don't think you need another receiver because you guys are loaded at receiver. Y'all have Hayden Hurst as y'all tight end. I think y'all are good there. If y'all said y'all wanted to get another receiver or perhaps just take Kyle Pitts because he's the best player available or something like that, I can understand that too. So, but I would take defense with the 4th pick. So I would probably go. Surtain. If not, though, I would trade down, get some picks because the Falcons need picks. They have to be able to rebuild that team a little bit because you have large expiring contracts. And yes, Matt Ryan has restructured his deal to where you have $19-20 million of cap space, but y'all need picks. So if y'all don't keep that number 4, I would trade down. But if I do keep number 4, me personally, I'm going to get Surtain because that defense needs to be addressed.
Agreed. But this is it's crazy because I was fixing to say if you don't mention it, I'm going to mention it. Personal opinion, and you're going to be like, "Woo, Julio Jones trading, getting some picks." That's where I would go, and I would get rid of him. Unfortunately, he's a great wide receiver, and don't get me wrong, whoever gets him is going to be fantastic he moves the needle on all teams. My personal opinion, he is that great of a wide receiver. He moves the needle on every team in the NFL. Problem is that Matt Ryan looks at him and he's just like, I gotta go to him. So I have got to get rid of Matt Ryan's problem. Unfortunately, it's Julio Jones. That would be my first pick. Now, if I could trade out and get picks, I'm still trying to keep my number 4, but I'm getting rid of Julio Jones. So if I get rid of Julio Jones, who am I going to pick up?
Then you get a receiver, and and so if you're going to have the first 3 picks be quarterbacks.
Yeah, and I get Devontae Smith. Yeah. So I'm replacing my Julio Jones with Devontae Smith. And I got Calvin Ridley and I got Hurst. So I'm good. I'm sitting good. And I think they worked out the contract with Todd Gurley. So we got Todd Gurley for another year. 1, I think. Then if I can get some really good draft picks moving forward, I address every single one of those with defense. I only want one offense person, and then I address my entire defense. I'm talking corners, linebackers, linemen, safeties. I don't give a crap what I'm picking them all up. Who is the best defensive player on the board right now? And then we'll look through it. Let's hypothetically. Jace Horn from South Carolina. He's the best one we got. That's the best person on the list. Get him. I mean, simple as that. I don't give a crap who it is. I want the best on the board right now. Put him. That's what we're going with. Well, we got 5 minutes. Why do we need? Put it in. We got 5 minutes. Put it in. That's who I want. Go. I get my wide receiver. I get my picks by trading off Julio Jones. I pick up my defense. That's where I would go. And I remember last webcast that we talked about this. I said if Devontae Smith is off the board, I go Mac Jones. After I started looking at everything, I'm like, no, Mac Jones is not where I go. I address my problems because Matt Ryan, like I said, his main focus is trying to get Julio Jones the ball. Get him out. Get him out. Let's eliminate that as an issue. Now, what are you going to do, Matt Ryan? You got a new wide receiver. You got Calvin Ridley, who is phenomenal. And everybody said he was short, too, when he went into the draft. Look at what he's doing now, right? You got Calvin Ridley. You got Devontae Smith. You got Gurley. And I think the other one, what's the other one? The other running back that we got.
Oh, gosh, I can't think of his name right now. I know you're talking about.
It'll come to us. But we're good in running back. We're good at wide receiver core. We just address that defense. And now let's put it on the field and see where it goes. But, yeah, I would look at I would go, Horn. He's the best one. Get him. That's exactly how I do it. And then if I don't address my needs, then at least I have the best on the field and I can make trades. And we'll just leave it at that. But no, I don't pick up a quarterback. I don't even pick up a quarterback. I don't even think about a quarterback.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's the thing, because everybody was saying, well, you got to draft Matt Ryan's replacement. No, you don't.
You don't.
You don't have to draft this replacement right now. Not at all, as a matter of fact. Because again, like we have railed on Matt Ryan in the past, but I will say this: he is far from y'all biggest problem.
Oh
That's not even, to me, that's not even a debate. Matt Ryan, is he the number one priority to keep? No, he's not that. But there's way bigger problems on that team than Matt Ryan. And I just kind of just got to thinking about it. And you know me, Patrick, I'm normally not an advocate for trading down. Like if you got that pick, keep that pick, do something constructive with that pick, and then
let's see where it goes.
Your draft, you go ahead and you build it up with the foundation. But in this case for Atlanta, yeah, I would totally be on board with trading down and picking. Let's say the Patriots wanted to trade with y'all. I think the Patriots are sitting at number. No, the Eagles are sitting at 12. I forget where the Patriots are sitting. I know they're in the teens somewhere. But let's just say the Patriots wanted to trade up with y'all. Yeah, go ahead. You give them that number 4 pick. Then, okay, so they're 15. Yeah, so y'all can go down to 15, and then y'all can definitely go get y'all one of these precision players. Like I said, for me, it would be defense. I think y'all are fine on the offensive line. Yes, Matt Ryan does force the ball to Julio Jones, but I do. Matt Ryan, to me, it's hard. So here's the thing with Matt Ryan, to me, man. It's hard to explain with him because he forces the ball to Julio Jones, but Calvin really gets his share of chances. So does Hayden Hurst. I just think sometimes, man, like he doesn't read the field well. I don't know how to explain it. He makes mistakes. You would not expect somebody who has been in the league for going on 13 years now. You wouldn't expect him to make those mistakes, but he makes them constantly.
I'm telling you, it's because Julio Jones is on the field. I'm telling you. Every time I watch that, I'm like, as soon as Julio Jones is single covered, right? He throws to Ridley. Okay. Julio Jones is single covered the next play. He throws to Ridley. No more than Julio Jones is double covered down the field. He forces it to Julio Jones. Now, don't get me wrong. Let's say about 6 times out of 10, Jones catches the ball. You know, it's very rare that Matt Ryan will throw an interception when he throws to Julio Jones. Julio Jones, I have seen this man go up for a ball and the corner have him beat, and he will reach over his head, shoulder, and everything, grab the ball and pull it out, and then fall backwards for 10 yards. So 30 yards down the field, Julio Jones will be 20 feet up in the air, reaching, grabbing the ball. I've even seen this man running down the field, get his feet turned around, one hand the ball on a freaking catch it one hand and pull the ball back in. I'm like, I don't know how he does it. My personal opinion, this is probably the best wide receiver in the game right now. Unfortunately, very hard to keep him on the field. And when he's not injured, Matt Ryan enforces it. And to me, if you take this out of the system, I almost think that Matt Ryan will go, okay, I have to distribute the ball in a different way. And I think he has the concept to do that. I just think that when you really start thinking about it, Matt Ryan, he wants Julio Jones to get those catches. He wants him to get those touches because they've been together for so long. You know what I mean? And I think Matt Ryan just wants that to happen. He just wants it so much that he's willing to do boneheaded moves to get him the ball. So as a coach, as an owner, I have to look at that and say, I'm going to get rid of Julio Jones. I'm going to keep my 4 pick. I'm going to get rid of Julio Jones, and I'm going to trade down, but I'm going to trade for more picks in the first and second round. I'm going to get rid of Julio Jones, keep my 4, and then just stackpile my picks. Then, if I really want to really make some really good moves, then if I can get somebody like the Patriots and say, I'm going to give you Julio Jones, but I want your first. Well, let's look and see what they got. So you got the Patriots at 15. I'm saying if anybody has like double first round draft picks. I think the Vikings have 2 in the first round. So I talk to the Vikings and say, hey, I want your 2 first round draft picks. Here's Julio Jones, and I want 2 of your fourth or 2 of your second. Let's see where it goes. And now I own 3 first round draft picks. I'm good with that. Well, hey, great. And a lot of people are going to be like, Julio Jones? Seriously? Yeah, get rid of him.
Well, hey, Patrick, we got to put a pin on that one. We'll come back to this one like later on.
Yeah, we got a lot to cover, and we got 10 minutes.
We had a couple more, just a couple more. So I will go back to the NBA and look at this game between the Denver Nuggets and Golden State Warriors. So you saw the best of both. You saw greatness, and then you saw some heartbreak, honestly. So to the greatness part, you had Steph Curry. He scored 53 points last night, and he became the Warriors' all-time leading scorer in the process. On the bad part, and this is where I was going for the long-term part, the Nuggets lost Jamal Murray for the season, or I guess they're saying he's out indefinitely, but he tore his ACL. So he's probably not coming back this year. Big blow for the Nuggets, because the Nuggets were over here. They had won 8 in a row, 7 or 8 in a row before that injury. And they were starting to peak. And they had made some trades to give them some chances. They got Aaron Gordon in there. Michael Porter Jr. is starting to play better. But this is huge. So, I mean, I guess the question, if there really is one, because I don't know if we expected the Nuggets to really compete for an NBA title. I mean, they were in the Western Conference Finals last year, but I mean, are they just? I'm pretty sure. I mean, you would agree with me to say, yeah, their title chances without Jamal Murray in there is pretty much gone. I mean, because that's just way too much pressure on Nikola Jokic to try to carry him.
Well, he could carry him, but 7 games in a 7-game series. See, so let's say, for example, I got it pulled up right here, right now. Shit. Okay. Sorry. If playoffs started right now, they got the Los Angeles Lakers. So,
well, right now they could beat them.
Well, that's true. But even with the injuries that sustained to AD and LeBron, I could just say this: right now, the Lakers are lucky that they're only 52 games into the season right now, and they got 20 more games left, which means you're probably looking at about a month. It's going to give them enough time to heal LeBron and heal AD and hopefully get them back on the court. But let's just say, hypothetically, and I know I don't normally go hypotheticals, especially when it comes to playoffs, but let's say that let's say that they stay in this position. LeBron and AD is back for the playoffs. Without Murray, the Nuggets stand no chance against that. They just don't. I mean, even with Murray, that's a tall order. You know what I mean? Without him, no. Now, you're going to run into 20 more games. And right now, the Denver Nuggets are 34-20, sitting in 4th place with Murray. Without Murray, that's tough. And you could probably be carried with what's his name?
Jokic.
Yeah, you could probably be carried through him through the season, but not through the playoffs. There's no way. He is not going to be able to sustain those many minutes. I mean, you're probably looking at what, 35 minutes for him right now, average. he is probably going to shoot more like 39 to 40, and that's a lot of playing time for somebody it has to be on the court now. I think they're done. They might make the playoffs, 7th place, 6th if they're lucky is probably the best they'll be. But if they do get in, they'll get bounced in the first round.
All right, Patrick, and let's get to this last topic here. We've got about a few minutes here. So your boy, well, maybe not your boy, but Draymond Green. So he got loose. Now here's what's really funny about this.
He runs his mouth too much, man.
Yeah, I think so too. And here's another example of this. So this dude, he was on a podcast with Go Figure out of all people, Kevin Durant, right? So they're on a webcast together, and basically he called today's NBA players that are coming into the league, he called them soft. Now, I personally think that is very, very funny, seeing how you're talking to one of the softest dudes that there is in league history, let alone today's NBA league history. Kevin Durant is the softest, most sensitive dude in the league today, bar none, and in the history. Burner accounts. That's all I gotta say. Anyway, yeah. But Draymond Green, what's really funny about this though, Patrick, is he's calling NBA players soft. What this sounds like to me is this. Draymond Green is supposed to be a big trash talker, right? And he said in the podcast, the younger players, he said he'd be trying to talk junk to them, and the younger players just kind of laugh them off. Now, if they're laughing you off and busting your ass, but if they're busting you up, now you want to get on them for saying, oh, they're not, they are like everything is cool. No, they're not acting like everything's cool. They just going about their business and busting you up while you over here yapping, being down by 20 points. So that's what that is. So just, I don't know. This is why I said in the text, Patrick, this might be our next member of the STF club. Because look, there's some times where he seems thoughtful. He seems really thought out with his comments. And then other times, I'm just like, what the hell are you talking about? Like that comment he tried to say, James Harden was getting killed by the media because he requested a trade. No. James Harden didn't get killed because of that. James Harden got killed because of the way he was unprofessional about trying to get out of there. That's why he got killed. Coming in to practice overweight. I mean, shoot, they got his jersey number retired in the strip clubs in Houston. What do you think he was doing?
I mean,
he got to be the first person who got his jersey retired in a strip club.
I'm not gonna lie. He probably got his jersey retired in strip clubs in Atlanta and New York. And, I mean, that dude was all over the place. There's not really much I can say about that, man. You're right. This dude, Draymond Green, he likes to run his mouth, and he thinks he's the top dog trash talker in all of the league. But how are you trash talking these little chumps that you wanna trash talk while they're killing you? They're killing you. Yeah. They're killing you on the floor. I mean, the Warriors haven't been really anything since Klay Thompson left or he got injured. They really haven't done much after that. I mean, Seth Curry he's carrying them as much as he can, but he's only one guy. So Draymond Green needs to – what he needs to do is he needs to just shut up and play basketball. That's what he needs to do.
It just sounds like it's just – right now you're just basically just trying to be heard. That's what it sounds like. You're not really saying anything that has any substance. You're just trying to stay relevant.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. Like. He's just trying to stay relevant by saying something to keep people talking about the Warriors. And in a time where the Warriors are irrelevant, because as of right now,
they're in 10th place.
They're in 10th place and not even making a playoff.
Play-in. Forget about that play-in.
Oh, sorry. They're in 10th place. I mean, I'm sorry, Charles. They're in 10th place, and they're not making the playoffs. Sorry. I know there's a play-in game, but they're still not making.
You know what?
The Pelicans will probably jump in their 10th place and take that over.
On that note, Patrick, we're going to wrap it up. All right, y'all. Well, hey, that will conclude the Breath of Fresh Air webcast tonight on YouTube and Facebook, and that is what we are breathing on. Now, if you want to stay up to date with the products that are coming out from this, please go to the Breath of Fresh Air YouTube channel, smash that subscribe button on the bottom of the screen, and keep the likes coming on the Breath of Fresh Air Facebook page. Patrick, you said you had a shorty coming up, right?
Rough Riders.
Yeah. All right, so this will be a nice little tribute he has. So stay tuned for that. And I'll see if I do a shorty this week. I mean, I did the article. Check that out if you guys haven't already. It's just my thoughts on what I feel that needs to be remembered when it comes to all this stuff involving Houston Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson. So check that out. Leave comments on that. Leave comments on this webcast. You know, we love the interaction, good, bad, or indifferent. Holla at us and let us know how we are doing. Am I missing anything, Patrick?
You got it, man.
All right. Well, for everybody else, for the viewers we had, thanks for tuning in. And we will talk to you later on this week. Take care.